Hi everyone, welcome you all. Today we are going to learn what are tokens. So let's get started. So tokens are smallest unit of the program, or you can say program consists of these tokens only. Okay, now in Python we have 5 tokens. That is, first one is keywords. Okay, keywords are the special reserve commands and mean something for your compiler or interpreter. Okay, that means you cannot use these words or a symbol for any other purpose. They are reserved. These, for example, we have if, or, for, while, lambda, in, or, with. Okay, these are the some of the example of keywords. Okay, now the next is identifiers. As we have discussed, identifier is a name given to a user defined object or anything which exists in Python has a name, right? So now these names are called identifiers. We have also discussed what are the naming rules for identifiers in previous video. Okay, don't worry if you are not aware about it. I will leave a link and you can always go and watch that video and come back here. Okay, and one more thing about identifier is whenever we are going to give a name to our identifier, okay, it must be descriptive. Okay, it must be self-descriptive so that it can define himself. For example, I'm going to store marks. Okay, now m can be the marks. Let's say it's 50 is the marks. Okay, now I want to store Hindi marks, so it can be x is equals to 90. Now y is equals to, let's say, 32. Now since I am storing marks here, m is equals to 50. I don't know which subject. Now you can remember this was Hindi, but what is this? Can you guess? Marks of nothing. But if I specify like this, SCI, okay, underscore marks, then it will be more meaningful and it will be remembered forever. For example, by seeing this identifier, we can always guess ki it is marks of science, right? But here x, after certain period of a time, we may forget this what and why we have used this x. What is the data type of it? We will forget it, and what is the purpose of this variable? We are going to forget it. So it is advisable to have a meaningful name. Now you must be thinking x is a simple variable. In this case, I can give a h also, right? I can modify this h. Instead of x, we can write h is equals to 9. Okay, this will solve the purpose. Okay, but this is not the case. By writing simple h, we sometimes after that we have marks of unit 2. Now we again need this h variable. How we are going to counter this? So ut underscore Hindi, this will be the descriptive name. Okay, so it is advisable to have descriptive name. It is advisable to have descriptive names. And one more thing, don't be afraid of typing. In computers you have to type a lot, so don't be afraid of typing, right? So let's move to our next topic, that is our literals. Literals are the constant values whose value cannot be changed. For example, if I try to write something, let's say, now what I can say, print, let's say, a. Okay, whenever I am going to type print a, its value will be always a, right? And if you try to change the value of a constant, see, okay, syntax error. We cannot assign value to a constant. One more try. 8 is a constant, numeric constant, and we are going to change its value, let's say 30. Okay, cannot assign to literal, right? But m is, we have declared earlier, you can see we have m is equals to 50. If I try to change this value, 87. Now if I try to print the same, its value will be changed and I will be getting 87 without any errors. Okay, so we can always reassign variables, but constant cannot be modified, or you can say literals cannot be modified. Soon we are going to see what are literals in greater detail. Okay, and then we are going to see what are operator. For now I am just giving you the definition of our operators. Operators are the symbols which operates on operands. Okay, I'm going to give you an example, right? For example, if I say 90 plus 10 is equals to 100, so here plus is an operator. Okay, similarly if I say 90 is greater than 100, it will return false. So here my greater than sign is operator, right? So we have different type of operators, and we are going to discuss in coming videos. Okay, coming to our next token is punctuators. Now punctuators are symbols that are used in programming language to organize sentence structure and indicate the rhythm and emphasis of expression, statement, and program structure. Most common punctuators of a programming language are, let's have some punctuators: single quotes, double quotes, hash or slash or parenthesis or brackets or curly braces, at the rate, comma, and colon, semicolon, right? Dot, equals to, these all are our punctuators, right? Or you can say some of the punctuator. Now you have used parenthesis. Okay, this is called a parenthesis. Now you can see in the print statement we have used parenthesis. Okay, now one more thing, if I try to compile this line, first of all let me copy this, and if I try to compile this line, EOL while scanning string literal. Okay, so this is a string literal, but I haven't closed it. Now what I can do is I can start with this hash and specify this. If I do it, now this will be ignored by the compiler, so that's why it is called a comment. Okay, so we can always start with the comment. So you have learned two punctuators. One is hash, which is used to start a comment, and parenthesis, which is used to indicate function and enclose parameters, right? So till now we have discussed keywords, identifiers, and literals, operator, and punctuators. In this context also we have completely dealt with punctuators. We are going to now let us see what are literals in greater detail, and in coming videos I am going to show you what are operators. So let us get started with literals. Okay, so let's move to our IDLE here. Now I will be typing some of the literals. First of all, let us talk about string literals. String literals. Okay, see, string literal is anything if you write in a single quote, let's say Asha. Okay, so this is a literal, and if I say single quotes 1 2 3 4, and this is also a string. Okay, now 1 2 3 4 plus, let's say, double quotes Yahoo. Okay, so you can say it is catenated, so it's a string. So both double quotes and single quotes are called string. Now suppose if you want a multi-line string, what you can do, hi, now print as slash, enter, and let's say school are closed. Okay, now enclose this, and you can see I have used this in a multi-line. Okay, right, now we have a multi-line string by using 3 quotes, and now I can type like this, you can say. So this is my string. Now you will notice a slash n here. Okay, what is this slash n? This slash n is called a escape sequence. right, we have certain escape sequence. For example, if I'm going to write a print, let's say hi and let's say bye. Now what I want to do is I want to write hi in first line and write bye in the next line. One way of doing it is print hi and print bye. Okay, but what I can do is I can write this thing in one line only, hi slash n, let's say bye. Okay, so now where my slash n is placed at this point, my line will be breaked. Okay, and I will be having a continuous two line. I don't have to use two print statement, that is lengthier and that is also that do not look good as well. Okay, so whenever you want two lines, you can use slash n in between. Okay, now as we have used a slash n, we have another escape sequence as well. Okay, that is slash t. You will find that print, let's say a slash t p. Okay, now if you see, we have a gap of 5 characters. Usually it is of 5 character. Now so this is called a tab character, and this is also a escape sequence. Now what are the escape sequence? These are the symbols which cannot be typed by the keyboard. We can type it with the combination of a slash and a character or more than one character. This is called a escape sequence. Okay, now let us have some of the escape sequence. Print, if you try to print a slash, let's say hi slash abc. Okay, now let us enter it. You can see my slash is printed. But sometimes, or if I try to print hi and double slash abc, now see, still we have a single slash. So single slash double slash is also a escape sequence and equivalent to a slash. Okay, it is used to counter a t. For example, after a slash you want a t here. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one and try to print this slash t. So I want to print this slash t as it is. Okay, I don't want a tab here, but I want to print a slash t. So okay, wait a minute, print hi slash t, but let's say bye. Okay, so what I want is I want to print this slash t and I don't want to print tab. So if I try to enter, it will give you hi tab. So I can achieve it by simply using double slash t, right? And if I try to hit enter, now this time I will be having a slash t. So that's why we have a slash slash. Okay, now similar to this we have a quit. Okay, for example, if I want to print hi, let's say it's rainy outside. Okay, so now if I try to print this one, so obviously this my Python will give me a beautiful error message. Now what I need to do is I need to use a slash here. Okay, now if I try to use it, so I can print a slash quits or comma. Okay, or you can say apostrophe, it's raining outside, it's a rainy outside. Okay, now similarly we have many escape sequence like double quits, or you can say we have a slash a, that is a bell character. Now if I use this print, okay, so this means we have a sound. Okay, in some CPUs you might get the sound or bell character. As you can see on this screen, we have many escape sequence and their description as well. So hope you have learned the string constant. In the next tutorial we are going to learn about numeric literals, boolean literals, and special literal called none. Okay, and then we are going to discuss other tokens. Hope you have enjoyed using it. So goodbye and have a nice day. Bye.